Vocalo Radio, Chicago's only urban alternative, 91.1 FM. Nudia in the afternoon here with you. I mean, summer is not over yet. ARC Music Festival will be happening the 29th through the 31st. I mean, what is summer without ARC? And in studio with me, we have someone who will be performing, an amazing DJ in the studio, Hiroko Yamamura in studio with us. Hello.
Hey, so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
We're so excited to have you. I know we were chatting a little bit before we got on air.
Talking some laboobos and good times.
Yeah, laboobos and things like in TikTok shop and you know how it's taking all our money. But you've been at every ARC Music Festival so far?
Yes.
You've been performing?
Knock on wood. This is going to be the 4th year of the festival. Really honored to be part of it, watch it grow. And I'm still surprised and really excited to see what this festival is able to pull off every year.
When you have a big kind of music festival like ARC, is the prep a little bit different for that? Or are you like, I'm going to go off vibes?
Yeah, you know what it is. There's when you're playing at home, there's always the friend factor, right? That you don't have to worry about, because your friends are actually probably your toughest audience. If people don't know you, maybe their criticisms don't land as strong. So the fact that people you know and love will be there, and maybe they've heard you more than a few times. You want to make sure that you deliver something fresh. And one of the great things that I get to do is I tend to play with a guest from out of town. So someone like kind of hosting someone. So this year I'm playing a back-to-back with DJ HAAi, who's absolutely amazing. So that always makes things a little bit different to add someone else into the mix.
When you do B2Bs, also known as back-to-backs, I always wonder, what type of communication does that take? Are you like, okay, I'm gonna stay at this BPM range? Do we want to stay at this BPM range? Is there communication, or do you just trust the other DJ?
Sometimes it's just like you walk into and you agree that we're just going to go with the flow. And really, at a festival, depending on how the previous DJ plays, everyone's energy level, like the weather can affect how good everyone's feeling. So you really don't want to plan too much, and that kind of takes the fun out if you talk about it. However, you want to kind of agree to not do something sometimes. So it is kind of a shorter time to deliver a good time. So a few rules are good, but lots of times you end up breaking them anyway. So yeah, this year we're just kind of trusting each other's musical taste, and hopefully it works out. Yeah.
I feel like we're in this generation where people might know a little bit too much about the behind the scenes of DJing. A lot of the younger Gen Z, they kind of think that festival sets have to be pre-mixed. Like, what would you say to that? Yeah, a lot of these kids are like, oh no, if you're going to a festival, it's already already mixed.
That is the biggest lie I've ever heard. This came from a pretty famous DJ, Deadmau5.
Deadmau5,
actually.
yeah.
And if you don't know what an infamous troll on the internet Deadmau5 can be, I'm sure there are some people that have maybe mimed a DJ set. However, it's actually harder, right?
Yes.
To if anybody's done anything consistently for a year, I mean, this is there are absolutely artistic elements of DJing and ingrained talent. However, the mechanical portion of DJing is a mechanical and muscle memory skill. So if anybody does anything consistently, or even watches like 10 YouTube videos, you will know how to do that part. So I think it's greatly exaggerated, and all of your peers are generally watching you too. And if you're in any kind of like competition, or maybe there's some scarcity, they will be the first ones to be like, you're not really doing it. But I think to listen to a set and try to do things exactly the same way in the same order that's got to be 100 times harder than
just doing it live,
two
right?
songs together. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like once you're a professional, that checkbox has been checked years ago. And maybe for some folks, I might, I've never actually witnessed it. And, I've got friends that were like actors who decided to start DJing, and then within a month, they're playing amazingly, right? So, I've never actually seen anybody mime a DJ set before. So I don't know. I feel like it's this like joke that just keeps getting perpetrated, but maybe it's out there somewhere.
It might also be the spaces you're in.
Yeah,
some spaces are easier to do that. You're kind of in some serious music spaces.
Every time I've seen like a YouTube video and someone is pointing out that such and such is not doing something, it's never correct. It's always that the lighting angle is shown where they're saying, oh, the CDJ is not on when this beautiful woman is playing, so it must not be real. But it's really like, that's how sun works, right? And if the sun hits an LCD screen, it doesn't look like it's on. And sometimes when you're DJing, you're gonna hover your hands over a mixing console because you want to cut the bass at a certain point, but you don't quite do it because you mess up. So all these indicators, most of the time I've seen, they're people are looking for something that's not there. So even on these TikToks where people are like, oh, this person is faking, 100% I've never seen anybody actually fake it before.
I was getting ready. I was doing my makeup this morning to your Boiler Room Chicago set.
Oh my gosh.
Which was really, really cool.
It was the hottest day in the world.
Yeah.
I was so not prepared for it. Yeah, it was like 70 degrees all week, and then suddenly it was 92 degrees. And then I was like, how do I look cool? Just sweating. And yeah.
You did look very cool, though. Do you consider yourself a house DJ, or what do you,
So I've probably played every genre under the book, and part of it is a very thing built out of necessity. So when I first started DJing, I probably didn't really know what the genres were, and people were like, "That's not this." And at the time, I was using vinyl, and I could only buy so much vinyl. So
it was expensive.
It was expensive. So you kind of made it work just because this is the only thing I had. And if the person at like Tower Records or wherever I was buying something from was like, this is techno, I'm like, okay, this is techno. And someone in Berlin is on the internet being like, that's not techno. I'm like, well, I don't really care, So
yeah.
I think for me, the genre terms are for the convenience of selling things. And I think some people get very comfortable in using that as their own kind of marketing strategy. And nowadays you'll see artists kind of defining themselves by what they're not, right? And saying like what they hate and what they stand against versus like what they actually do and what they encompass. So if it sounds good, it doesn't matter if it's pop music, underground techno. If the moment calls for that, my hand's going to reach for it. So yeah.
Going back to that Boiler Room video, it has 1 million views. And your fans in the comments are so funny.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I can't read those. Yeah.
They're diehard. They really, love you. Is that kind of crazy to think about sometimes?
It's weird, right? So, the internet, generally people will write things that are negative, not necessarily positive, but people have been so nice, right? And especially on an online space like that, to see people say nice things is it's crazy, right? So I try not to read that stuff because I think about it for like a month if somebody says something like
just one little tiny
her
mean
hair
thing.
was out of place, and like, God, look at her double chin right now, and I'm like, oh man.
There was nothing like that.
Okay,
I didn't see. I was just like, it was funny, so I just kept reading the comments, and they, like pure adoration from that video, from what I saw.
That's so nice.
You've had such a successful career. I think it's so funny when we read about, your past in music, and you grew up playing musical instruments. first getting put the violin in your hand, which is like known as one of the hardest instruments that you have to make sound beautiful. Did you enjoy playing instruments?
I did. Growing up, kind of Asian American household, it was a bit punitive. It felt like initially having to go to orchestra every morning. And my entire family kind of went through that regiment. But yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So getting classic music training or any kind of real music lessons nowadays is really, it's a privilege, right? And music education is not required in a lot of public schools now, and you can really see that starting to have an effect on kind of culture and people's basic understanding of music literacy and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm super lucky, even though maybe I hated it at the time because I just looked like a dork on a violin. But yeah, music has been integral to my life. So
when you look at this generation of kids looking to be DJs, maybe have a career like you, a lot of these kids, they want to take the festival route. They want to play these big festivals like ARC. What would be your advice?
You don't do it. It's one of those things that most of my peers are in the music industry somehow, and or entertainment in some way, and really the success rate or ability to have a livable income in music, especially in kind of these lean times, it's a privilege. If you know 100 DJs and only one of them is successful, use those realistic numbers when you think about what you want to do. If you love music, do it. Absolutely. Like, it's a passion, it is an addiction, it is everything. However, a lot of us have to do side jobs. We have to work backline at concerts. We've got lots of other side gigs to make this the reality. But if you really want to do this, absolutely do it, because the folks that I know that have put 100% to it, I think we have a 99% success rate out of my peers. So as much as it's a challenge, it's a rough road. Mm-hmm. And you have to acknowledge that there is 1,000 other people that want to be in that same position, and they're all amazing too. So just be realistic about outcomes, right? And someone like myself, I've just gotten lucky, and I can't place things to anything else besides that. So you throw in dumb luck and maybe be a nice person to people along the way, and things might go a little bit better for you.
Definitely a lot of luck. And people want to talk about struggling artists, struggling musicians. DJs fall into that. It's the same. It's Absolutely. The same story. You've kind of spoken out a lot about your parents and, kind of breaking the cultural norms within the Japanese culture. What do they think about your career now?
I don't really explain it to them. They know I click on my laptop and music comes out, and I kind of intentionally keep it vague. And yeah, as long as they don't read about me getting arrested or something like that, I've been pretty fortunate. Yeah, you don't get to sneak out to go to raves when you're 13 if your parents are really paying attention to what you're doing. So, yeah, I'm quite blessed in that way that I was pretty good at sneaking, and my parents went to bed quite early. So, yeah, of course, part of this is you at a certain point you have to provide for your family as well. So. Maybe they should be asking where the retirement is coming from, but I think they seem more than happy with where things are. So yeah.
You don't put your boiler room on the TV
My
at home or something?
My parents aren't good at Googling. I just got them good at using iMessage, and so yeah, I'm pretty blessed in that way. So
could they use emojis yet, or is that
no?
That's too far. Oh,
I'd be really disturbed if my parents started sending me emojis.
I know you've talked about kind of realizing your passion and how extreme it was during the lockdown because you missed DJing. And it's that age-old saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone.
Absolutely.
You're used to always just showing up and playing music to gigs, and then when that gets taken away from you, was that kind of the thing you're like, oh, I'm never giving this up?
I really had no idea what to do with myself at that point, and I'm sure everybody went through something life-changing and rough during that time, and I don't want to discount their situation, but for me, it was really the toughest time of my life, unfortunately, and already kind of being socially withdrawn. I wouldn't see people for months at that time, and so finding a way to kind of reconnect with people, and yeah, you just when something you enjoy is not there anymore, and you start to think that it's maybe a thing in the past, right? Like, as I was still looking at restaurants constantly, being like, man, it was so nice to go in a restaurant and eat food. And I just had this list of places that once restaurants opened again, I'm not going to take this for granted anymore because it is so good. And to be able to just see people again and enjoy music. And I really had to treat it seriously and not make sure it was precious and give it value again.
Looking to ARC Weekend and ARC Music Festival, which is the 29th through the 31st. You're going to be there. What could people expect at your set?
We're going to have a party time. Again, I'm playing with DJ HAAi, who is one of the most amazing producers. Also, she's been in a bunch of bands, and I have this I'm not worthy moment playing with her. But also, the stage as well I think it's mostly women that day, so I'm really excited about that. There's a lot of Chicago artists. It's one of those festivals it's kind of different than a lot of places, and the representation there really matters, and they care about it, and they're doing it in not a corny way to check off boxes. Like, everyone that's there is amazing. So there's not an artist on there that I'm not excited to see personally.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Where could people follow you? And,
Thank you so much. You can find me on Instagram, posting random things. Account was recently deleted, but we're back up. I've got a new account.
Meme Queen, right?
It's Hiroko _ music. And I'll just be randomly posting stuff, and I will see you on the internets.
Amazing. Again, catch Hiroko at ARC Music Festival, the 29th through the 31st. It's 4th year, been around since 2021. Vet, you've been there every year. Thank you so much.
Yeah, they better, hopefully next year too, please.
You're like all the years forward. Thank you so much, Hiroko, for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.